Welcome to my humble abode. Today I'm going to be reacting to some Nick Crowley. Of course, if you don't want to listen to me yapping, you can find his channel down below in the description. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and watch. Ooh, bridge diving.
Our next video takes us to Bosnia, which is home to some of the most famous and highest bridge diving competitions in the world.
No, you can never pay me enough to jump off this. Look at how fucking high up that is, dude. That's fucking insane. These people are wild. Did you know? I mean, maybe you know, I don't know. But if you jump into the water from like high enough that it'll actually feel like you're diving onto fucking concrete, it's fucking wild. That shit's gotta hurt so badly. You're gonna have your hands up over your head. Crazy.
In the world. And though these events may seem reckless and risky, in actuality they are a commonplace, with TV networks even airing the competitions live, with little fear of capturing tragedy on live TV.
Why do they have such... I mean, anything could happen, especially this high up. Why... I mean, I guess they would have a lot of people to save them if things go wrong, but like still, I don't know.
And on August 7th, 2016, one of these televised events would go live as divers jumped from a 65-foot bridge in the river Drina.
Wow.
One of the top competitors entering the day was Andre Bew, a gold medalist diver with thousands of dives under his belt. And though the water was said to be a little chilly that day, conditions were otherwise perfect for the event, as Andre prepared to show off his skill to the crowd. And from the moment he leapt off that platform, he appeared to be in top form, hitting the water.
Top form, man. Oh no. He did not look like he got his arms all the way over. Did he just like fucking face plant into the water?
With his usual grace. Yet another stellar dive by the champion.
No, that didn't look like he got it. Hold on, let me go all the, hold on. All right, here he is right here. Here he is. All right.
Yet another stellar dive.
Oh, I missed it. Hold on. We can see him right about to hit the water here. You can see his arms are like... All right, his arms are like right here. I don't think he got it all the way around. No.
But
yeah, I think he might have like gotten this way, but like this at the most. This at the most. Ain't no way he got it all the way around. Like he needs to. Like this, I think. Right? Something. Or like this. I don't know. He needs to have it all the way above his head. Something like that, right?
The champion.
Nah.
Only this time, things would quickly go wrong.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from that view, because like it doesn't follow him all the way through. Unfortunate. All right. Continue. Sorry.
Andre can be seen on camera for a moment resurfacing from his dive, but almost immediately things go awry as his head submerges back under the water, disappearing into the murky depths.
Yeah, I mean, something doesn't look right. Like he doesn't look okay, clearly, because he's not coming back up.
After, we can see one of his arms briefly break the surface before going under again, this time disappearing completely. Luckily, there was a rescue crew waiting on standby for a moment just like this, as they drove their boats over to the struggling swimmer. But despite the large number of emergency staff, they all seemed hesitant to jump in the water.
Why aren't they fucking jumping in as soon as they see him not like go all the way up and like his arm, you know, like reaching for help? Why aren't they fucking jumping in? That's their fucking job, huh? Jump in, go save him. Y'all have life jackets on. Like that's literally their fucking job.
And it takes Andre's head resurfacing once again for the first lifeguard to enter the water. However, at this point, he was already gone. Andre, the championship diver, a man who has done countless other dives just like this, had vanished, and vanished to the point where emergency crews would eventually be called off.
Bruh, they were right fucking there. Look, they were right here. They saw his head, they saw his arm, they knew where he was. And they're like, oh, they look like the fucking Stooges. God damn, this is your job, jump the fuck in. As soon as you see him struggling, you need to jump in no matter what. That, like, I don't know, guys. What?
Vanished to the point where emergency crews would eventually be called off.
That's
His lifeless body would be found days later down the river on August 11th, having suffered from multiple fractures as well as typical decay. The video would soon be posted to YouTube and picked up steam on local and worldwide news outlets, with many wondering what could have happened to make this otherwise masterful diver lose his life on such a routine day, especially given that there seemed to be nothing in his near-perfect dive that would indicate a risk of injury upon hitting the water.
I don't know about near perfect. Yeah, I don't know about near perfect. I think that's a bit of a stretch. It was almost perfect, sure, but like, well, near perfect, yes. Almost perfect, yes. Okay, not perfect. I mean, they did talk about fractures, so I'm wondering if his, like, from his smacking his head on the water, it, like, completely, like his bones went, you know what I'm saying, in different fucking directions. And I mean, I guess that would make more sense, right? In a fracture point of view, and why it was so hard for him to come back up into the water, possibly.
And even if it hadn't been perfect, the large number of emergency staff should have been enough to prevent a tragedy like this. But despite them being on scene within seconds, not only was he not rescued, but his body would go missing for days.
I mean, they fucking sat there for like a few minutes and were like looking around like, oh, should we get him? Should we not get him? Should we get him? Should we not get him? Like, bro, fucking dive in and get him. Come on now.
Despite the video being viewed over 1 million times, there still seems to be no concrete and accepted cause of death, which has caused several theories to pop up as to what may have actually happened that day. Some theorize that the cold temperature of the water had sent his body into shock, a note that is given some validity, as the emergency crew on hand would later give an excuse for not entering the water in a timely manner.
Nope, I'm not buying that. That is literally your fucking job. You dive in, you wear a fucking wetsuit if needed, alright? And from the looks of it, none of them have any dive suits. Maybe them, maybe these guys over here, but it's kind of hard to tell. The video is kind of grainy, but these guys are in fucking shorts and shirts. So clearly it's not fucking cold enough for them to be wearing wetsuits. That's the first red flag. The second red flag is that other divers have went in just fine without any sort of, oh, it's too cold, people shouldn't go in, we shouldn't be diving. The other divers went in just fine. So this is clearly bullshit. Bullshit.
By saying that the water was, quote, too cold, a jarring claim.
Okay, this guy does look like he has a wetsuit on. This one at least. So at least someone has a wetsuit, but it's still not a good enough excuse. Not at all.
Given that they were paid professionals, hired specifically to rescue helpless swimmers, yet they were deterred by cold water. But this shock theory doesn't fully add up, as multiple divers had already participated up until this point, and none had faced any issues whatsoever. And if the water was truly that cold, one would imagine that they would have just canceled the event altogether.
Like I fucking said. The cold theory just doesn't add fucking up.
As again, these were legitimate, professionally run events. Now,
Professionally seems a bit too nice for what they ran here. I don't know.
Perhaps the darkest theory put forth is that Andre was dragged below the surface by something in the water. This may sound ridiculous at first, but the River Drina is known to be inhabited by a species of fish called the Wells catfish. And these catfish are remarkably large, as they can reach sizes of over 9 feet long, with the heaviest ever being caught weighing in at a staggering 330 pounds.
That motherfucker right there. Alright, now this would make a little more sense, okay? Look at this huge motherfucker right here. God damn! That fucker's huge. But do they go after people though? I don't know about that one. Hold up, let me Google this. The Wells catfish is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, native to large rivers and lakes in Central and Eastern Europe and Asia. It is a nocturnal scalefish predator with a long slimy body. It is also known to eat fish and even small mammals and birds. Okay, but it's nocturnal, which means it wouldn't have been out at the time they were fucking diving. Yeah, Diet and behavior. Nocturnal. They are most active at night, often in shallow water, using their barbels to find food. Predator behavior. Whilst catfish are active predators, feeding on a variety of prey, including fish, insects, crustaceans, frogs, and even waterfowl and small mammals. Nothing about people. Nothing about people. That's already a red tick on it. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. So they don't even really go after people, and they're nocturnal, so they wouldn't have been around during the time of the dives. That just, I don't know, that doesn't seem likely in the slightest.
Heaviest ever being caught, weighing in at a staggering 330 pounds.
Those fuckers
and they're
are
said to
huge.
be extremely hostile, especially during mating season when males are guarding their nests. And coincidentally, the competition had taken place right at the end of their typical mating season.
Why couldn't y'all have just waited? Why couldn't y'all just have waited till the mating season was fucking over? Professionally run. Yeah, okay. My ass.
So it's entirely possible that when Andre jumped in the water, he landed in the vicinity of one of these protective fish, who would have then instinctively attacked, dragging him under the water and leaving him unable to swim back to the surface. This would explain why he seems to almost be sucked under the water, even looking behind him as if he noticed it coming towards him, as well.
You know what, let's say, for hypothetical reasons, that there did happen to be a large catfish down under there. I think one of the most probable reasons he dove, and as he dove, he didn't get his arms 100% over his head. He could have smacked right into one of these fishes that were swimming along, and he just catfish his head. That would be more reasonable, that he would accidentally smack on one of these fishes on one of his dives, and that's just a very unfortunate event that happened. The fish dragging him down, I don't believe that.
Is why the emergency response team was so hesitant to jump in after him. Plus, it would account for how his body had disappeared so quickly, and how they were unable to locate it until days after, with multiple fractures. And given the lack of protruding teeth that these fish have,
bro, that is a fish in that fish's mouth. Goddamn. Holy shit.
the injuries that it would have left behind would be more akin to bruising and fractures, which were injuries that were supposedly prevalent on his body. And these facts are far.
Well, I mean, his body was taken with the fucking river. What do you mean? It didn't have to be from the catfish thingy. Like, his body was moving with the fucking current. He would have hit rocks along the way. Like,
from
what?
the only evidence to point to this cause of death, with the most damning coming from the video itself. When watching the clip, right as we see Andre's arm surface for the final time, we can see what appears to be a fin breaking the surface just feet away from him. Many have speculated that this could be the tail fin of a giant Wells catfish, as it appears to be completely synchronized with Andre going under the water for the final time.
You're telling me that's a fucking tail? That looks like every other dark thing in this fucking water. That does not look like a tail, all right? And why is this video so goddamn grainy? You cannot tell me with 100% certainty that is a tail. No, I ain't buying that shit.
Leaving this as a very legitimate theory.
Nope.
But along with this, another major theory has been put forth, and that is the idea that Andre had suffered a broken vertebrae upon entering the water. The news site Telegraph actually reported this as the official autopsy's cause of death.
This sounds more credible. It does. He could have done it just from smacking into the water, you know? His dive wasn't perfect, so he could have got it from smacking into that water in because clearly his arms weren't fully over his head. And he, at that point, 65 feet, he's diving into a fucking concrete, all right? Or, again, like the catfish theory, he could have smacked into the fucking catfish, which would be more credible.
But
actually.
The validity of this claim is shaky, as it offers no citations, as well as being the only news site to report this information, despite universal coverage of the case. But we do know that his body did have multiple fractures when it was found, though the location of it has yet to be confirmed. And with that being said, a broken vertebrae is a risk for any diver, and it would have limited him from being able to keep his head above water, even as a experienced professional.
Yeah, but still, as soon as his head bopped up and they could see that he was having trouble staying afloat, they should have went in and got him. So, this whole thing was just a fucking mess.
But as mentioned previously, nothing seemed off in his diving form, and had he actually suffered from vertebrae fractures once hitting the water, he likely would have lost all feelings in his limbs, rendering him unable to move. Yet he was able to hold his head above water and move his arms during the ordeal. So either they had fractured a specific way that was potentially made worse when he started to move, causing him to go limp, or this theory is a dead end. Whatever the case may be, the event and the subsequent video footage remains a chilling mystery.
I don't know, that whole thing is just so strange. I just think that these people right here, the supposed rescue team, should have gone in way sooner, way quicker. They could have helped the man. Like, I think this could have been avoided if they just did their fucking job like they should have. But what do you all think? What do you think is the most likely reason this guy got sunk into the water, taken away, and died? What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoy this video. All that, like it, dislike it, but at least subscribe.